Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lance McHan Show. Today's guests are Adam and Aaron with Sinners and Winners Bike Shop out of Oakdale. And today they're going to be talking a little bit about what they do to give back to the veterans. And we're going to dive into what it takes to work on a motorcycle, I should say. Thank you guys for stopping by. And first and foremost, I want to thank you for your service. That means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to a lot of people, the civilians out there. So
it's my honor and privilege.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for having us.
Yeah, and I'd do it again. I'd volunteer again. I definitely appreciate it.
Dude, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. So tell me a little bit about Sinners and Winners. First, let's start with your military career, a little synopsis of what you did and how long you served. Just a little snippet.
Okay, for me, I was Air Force.
Okay.
I did 4 years in the Air Force. I went in as a firefighter. Really, really loved it. Had a really good time. Made mistakes. I was young, right?
Yeah.
And did what I did, but I got through it. Really, really enjoy it. I wouldn't change. It's hard to say, right? I mean, that's one of those things that...
a few things you would change.
Yeah. But it's, for all in all, it was a good time.
A good experience.
Definitely enjoyed it.
I was in the Army, went in as field artillery. And then when I got into Iraq, or about 3 days before I got to Iraq, I found out I was a machine gunner in a maneuver platoon. I got sent over to a tank troop and was basically a Cav scout. That's where I picked up the nickname Boner.
Okay.
Right? And it was harder than woodpecker lips and always effing ready. All right. So, it was one hell of a ride. And, I'd do it all over again. There's a lot of real good guys. And
Well, thank you.
Once in a lifetime experiences.
So how long has the bike shop been open?
Bike shop's been open in one way or another for about 4 years.
Okay.
We've been in the same location for about 4 years. Pretty much a lot of it is learning what you're doing, right? Working on bikes is the easy part. All the business and dealing with
Customers.
That's the hard part. That's what I had no idea what we were doing when we first started.
But I think we've successfully been failing our way to success, right? In a sense.
I call it fail forward.
Yes, it's exactly it. And it really is how it works as long as you're able to learn from that. And I think we've done that.
Yeah.
And that's what actually has led to the Vet to Bike program.
Okay, let's dive into that. What is the Vet to Bike program?
So the Vet to Bike program is where we take a bike from like an auction or something like that's been wrecked or whatever that needs work so I can get it a decent price, right? We'll pick that up. We then bring it in and we allow the vet to come in and work on the bike, use our tools, our knowledge, our lift and everything else, and then rebuild that bike however they would have their dream bike built, right? Okay. So anything above and beyond what it would take to get back to normal, they would have to pay. And then when it's done, they have the option to try and buy the bike or sell the bike. And with that, we've tried to actually team up with a nonprofit, PSR, so that way we can try and actually make it where the veterans just do the program.
Who's PSR? Let's give them a little
plug. It's Protecting Soldiers' Rights.
Okay.
Good group of guys. All right. Mainly out of Oakdale. I know Roz is out of Oakdale. And like I said, they're trying to help us collaborate with them to be able to just give these bikes to the vets and be able to then get more vets on bikes.
Yeah.
So the veteran comes to you and they're basically like an internship work.
Yeah, if you would think
split equity, kind of like learn how to wrench on a bike.
Yeah. So if you would think of it back in like the 1920s and the 1930s when you used to have apprentices, right? And you would come in and you would find out and you would be actually working hands-on with a master mechanic that had been doing it for 20 or 30 years. And he was actually teaching you his craft. Not necessarily this is how you replace parts, but let me teach you the stuff that you're not going to learn. I've got this many years of experience. You're not going to learn this in a book, right? That's what we're trying, and that's what we're giving to them in the end. So that way we know now not only have I been able to get somebody on a bike, but now you're not going to get stuck on the side of the road, man. I know that you know enough to get yourself back to safety and get yourself where you need to go.
It's pretty special.
Oh, yeah. You got to give them a little bit more to get them hooked on bikes, get them addicted to the motorcycle like I am.
Like you said, it's a craft. Anybody could go to school and learn how to wrench, but it's the those little things, those little nuances, like, oh, you got to do it this way. The book shows you this way, but it's this way.
Yeah, and between the two of us, we have that experience. All right, we have the life experience. We've done the failing forward.
Do you have any examples of that?
Yeah, I raced a lot of dirt bikes when I was younger, and I could not afford to pay for somebody to work on them. So I got myself my Craftsman wrenches and socket set, right? Mowing yards.
Sears, huh?
Oh yeah, bud. And got the
lifetime
book.
guarantee.
So I rebuilt my 3 of my engines in a row. Had no problems. Everything was cool. The 4th one, I had actually got an apprenticeship at a motorcycle shop in town that was also sponsoring me then. And found out that piston rings are directional. It turns out I got lucky 3 times in a row and installed them without knowing that.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. That was I could have destroyed quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Any experiences for you?
Yeah, mine's a little different. I always started with like stereos.
Okay.
And cars. When I first started, and when you don't have anything but you want something, you find a way to do it.
Making speaker boxes.
Yeah, well, not just speaker boxes. I mean, I remember wiring up like my first speakers in my truck. I actually had my buddy at the time, his mom had an old pair of like Sonic 8 house speakers, right? We put them behind the cab and wired them up. But I did the deck and everything else, but you would have it was just all twisted with black tape, and I'd take them and spark them so I could light cigarettes. I mean, stupid stuff you do as a kid, and look back on it and go, oh, okay. But I mean, by doing it, it taught me a lot on how electricity worked that I don't think I would have got otherwise.
I didn't know you could light a cigarette with speaker wire.
Yeah, the power and ground wire.
And at the time, like I like to tell him, at the time that was his best wiring job.
Yeah,
right.
That's funny. Things you learn. So, how many vets have you had go through your program so far? Or I don't know if it's a program, but how many vets have you had through?
Well, with this vet to bike program that we started, we are about to be done with our first one, and we've already had a second one in motion. Okay. All right.
And there's a third coming as well with his own bike. So we're working on about 3. The first will be done hopefully in about 2 or 3 weeks. We're waiting on parts from Harley. I mean, sometimes you got to wait on parts.
That is because for veterans, we also have it where they can come in just for their own bike. Mm-hmm. All right. They're going to be able to use the lift. They're going to do the turning of the wrenches and the cleanup when it's done. But as long as they buy the parts from us, you can come and we'll teach you how to install the cams.
Yeah,
all right,
whatever
you're actually
part. Yeah, as long
it.
as you purchase from us, we'll teach you how to put that part in.
So we'll do a tailored.
That's for vets only. I mean,
yes.
It is what it is. I really, that really hits home with us.
Right. Yeah, and that just enables them to stay on 2 wheels longer, like the average first-time Harley owners in their mid-30s now.
Oh, really?
All right, and most of the young warfighters in their early 20s. All right, so I see that kind of a gap, and so this is our way of trying to enable the guys closer to our age, right, the younger crowd. To be able to get onto that and have those experiences sooner, right? I don't think those guys should have to wait. Guys, girls, any of you vets out there should have to wait until you're 35 to have a bike.
Yeah, and a lot of that goes with the price that they charge now, right? I mean, you go in, you're trying to get like just a cool bike. Like if you go in, a base model bagger's $20,000. Jeez. Right, and that's what everybody has now, right? Is a bagger. Everybody wants a bagger, right? So what we try to do is we'll try and go one. I'll find one that's a little bit older, that's a little bit beat up, right? But we'll go get it, and then when you come in and it's done, you're going to have a bike for less than what you would have bought that, right? We're talking maybe 10.
Yeah, half the price.
Yeah, but then it's going to be a bike that anybody, whether you have money or you don't have money, would love to have because it's going to be a custom, personalized bike to you. And it also. What really brought this on was when I got home, I kind of did the same thing. I went out and I bought my own brand new Harley, right? Really cool. And some of my friends did the same thing. And then as soon as they fell on hard times, the first thing to go was the bike because they were locked in a $500 and something payment.
Wow.
And that's what we're trying to do is it's like, yeah.
And with yours, just throw some rough numbers out here. Another experience of ours, right? I did the same thing with the brand new Gixxer 1000 in the past. Paid full retail on it, bought all the parts from Suzuki, and then I took all of them off of the bike and replaced them with aftermarket parts. So why did I pay all that money for that stock bike when I'm going to swap everything on it? Right. You buy something a little bit older, all right, and you actually get to create whatever custom bike you want without. It's a blank canvas, exactly. Why buy a $20,000 canvas that you got to paint over with white again to start anew?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys all strictly Harley? That's all you do?
Yeah, we are strictly a Harley shop. We do from time to time work on quads or anything else that comes in if stuff gets slow because I got to keep the lights on.
Right.
But with that, I'm not going to tell you, bring me your quad, because if I don't have the specialty tools, that's a lot of it too. If we don't, I'm not going to go retool for that and everything else because the amount of money that we have just in Harley tools.
Yeah.
But it also depends. It's on that extent of the work. Oil changes, tires, that type of stuff. We could take them.
Right.
Yes.
I'm a Polaris master mechanic. That's who I worked for.
Okay.
I did Massey Ferguson tractors, Polaris's, Harley Davidson. So I've done ag equipment to scooters, right?
Yeah.
And
Big spread right there.
so we actually have some Polaris contracts, and because we already have that tooling from my past, right? But mainly it is Harley focused. We like to stay on two wheels. So,
yeah, I get you. So have you reached out to Harley about your program? Are they willing to help sponsor anything?
Really cool so far. Mitchell's Harley.
Okay.
Over there in Modesto. Really cool guys. We met them over at an event that was being put on over Memorial Weekend at the Modesto Air, but it was a commemorative
Air Force
that was hosting it. And they had it in their hangar, and they had a car and bike show, American Veterans First, and some other people were there. So we went out there as well. PSR was there, and we set up our things and
met the owner.
You set up a booth?
we set up the booth, and then we ended up meeting the owner there, and he ended up talking to us and kind of liking what happened. So we've went and we've talked to him, and so far they've set us up a business account so far with them, so that way we can at least get parts at a
discount.
Yeah, for at least the Harley part so far. I don't know moving forwards if it's gonna. That was only a couple weeks ago. So.
Right, it's a new relationship, but they have said they wanted to support the program. They like what we're about, and the support from them is very helpful so far.
Yes.
Anything is getting us closer to giving it to that vet free, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's really cool that they wanted to get on board with us really early on.
One thing I did want to get back to, you had brought up about the program and how many people we had going through it or whatever. If you actually want to check and see how that's going, we've actually created a YouTube channel and video and everything that's kind of dedicated to all this, and we've released.
I'll have to tag it in the.
Okay, yeah. We've released the first video, and you actually get to see Elise and the bike and everything else. And I think we've got probably 3 or 4 more videos that we're going to make of that one before it's complete.
Yep.
But yeah, you can kind of see how that's all going. And same thing with the second one. The second lady
Elise was your first veteran?
Yes.
How did you connect with her?
Actually, my wife found her. She has an art studio called Stuff and Things out of Riverbank, California.
Okay.
And my son was going over there doing different painting, clay work, different arts and crafts. I've actually gone over there and done pour painting nights, and found out she was a veteran, owned her business. Her husband's a veteran also. And started talking, and she thought that this program idea was really cool, said that she wanted to get involved with it. And so after we were able to come up with the first bike, we gave her a call, and she jumped right on it. Yeah. She was really excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
Was she a natural wrencher, or did you guys?
No. It's definitely funny when people first come in. You hand them even like a Phillips head, and they're like really shy. And then all of a sudden you get to like her 12th hour of sanding. Oh yeah, she's
like she knows what she needs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we even in the course we even go over tool identification, proper handling,
Okay.
all right, safety stuff, your iPro, your PPE, right, your gloves, explain different leverage things. Basically, we reduce knuckle busting.
Oh yeah, that's
right. By we're not letting you hurt yourself the whole way. I'll let you make a little mistake here and there, but it's going to be
working on a 68 fiber, and you're like, the box end breaks, bam. You're like, oh. I love it.
You remember that? You probably got a mark.
It was, my dad said, I told you to use a socket. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you know, old man?
Exactly. You're right.
Barely knows. Breaker bar, the good old days. So you have a second veteran coming through the program? Or?
Yes, Sarah. Really, really cool veteran herself. We actually met her through a friend, Jeff. He's currently a student over at UOP, and he kind of just was telling everybody about the program that he knows. And that's how we
Jeff
ran.
does have a big mouth.
It's that veteran networking, man.
Yes.
I mean, you got to be able to put things out there. There's a lot of strength in the community.
Yeah, I've known Jeff since high school. Yeah, he's a good
I'm sorry.
He's gonna be like, you guys.
Yeah, you should have seen his bike when we finished it.
Oh yeah, we had made some tassels for him that were festively cut. No, they were because he. Jeff is definitely an American.
Oh,
Jeff
yes.
let you know he's American.
Yeah.
So
Love
we
that
played.
man.
We played with him a little bit.
Yeah, he's fine.
We got the actual Mexican flag colored tassels and did them 18, and we zip tied them so tight he almost couldn't cut them off. And we had the old Cheech and Chong song playing when he showed up.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was
So-
it
You
was
should
just
have had that on your video. That would have been
Oh,
great.
we were
supposed to, but
Yeah, but this is kind of that's the other thing with the shop too, man. Is this is how the shop works? It's a fun therapeutic place. Like even if you can't. If you're a vet and you just want to come check it out and hang out, as long as you're cool with hanging out and us working, if I got something there, you're more than welcome to come in.
yeah.
That's we literally just like interacting with vets and hearing the stories because honestly, vets have some of the coolest stories
Yeah, they
you
do.
will ever hear.
Yes.
I mean, there's stuff that you're like, dude, there's no way that was out of a movie, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I just saw that. You know, did you watch that movie? You're just, but yeah. There's some. Jeff's told me some crazy stories. I'm like, dude, I love you, brother, but if you need to tell me, tell me. But I don't want to hear that crazy stuff. Like seriously, if you need to get off your chest, I'm always here. I'll listen. But if you're just telling me to tell me, I don't want to hear what crazy things you did.
Yeah, and sometimes that's actually a disconnect that we see a lot. That's why the shop being therapeutic, it's vets for vets, right? And we are non-judgmental. Definitely got my own messed up stories and other things like that.
It's pretty gory, some of the
But
stuff he's telling me.
it's also the point of view and the way that we can talk about that. Like I used to refer to it as embracing the suck, right?
Yeah.
And so
Embracing the suck.
embracing that's what we called it when it was 137 degrees in Iraq, right?
Oh, wow.
But you can sit there and rap about that stuff because I had some really good times and some
As long
really
as you're
crappy
cool,
places.
mellow, not starting trouble, it's like,
Yeah.
you guys come.
Come hang out, man.
Therapy.
Therapeutic, wrench on some bikes. All right.
Listen to music, have a good time. I mean, because like I think what we've tried to create is like you always hear all those stories about how when the kid was growing up, his dad and his buddies were always in the garage putting the car or the bike or what, and there was all this really cool stuff. And then it's like, okay, growing up, it's like, well, that was cool to hear about it, but I haven't even heard anybody my age saying that's how they grew up anymore. It's always you only hear that from the older guys.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, so like for us, part of it is like, hey man, I would have loved to have been able to do that. So we kind of said, well, I can't do it by myself, but if we help each other out, man, we can end up making it work.
Nice.
About 4 years later, and I love my life now, man. It's yeah.
Something else unique we were off camera we were talking about is you videotape all the work that you do on bikes.
Yes. Yeah, so like if you came in and you wanted us to do the work on your bike, when we actually do it, we document everything and we put it on the YouTube channel and everything else. And more so for us is so that way when you go home at night, I really want you to be able to sleep with your head on your pillow, knowing that your bike is fine, right? I mean, because here's the thing. I've even had times myself where I've thrown my leg over it and I'm getting ready to ride. And all of a sudden there's a thought going in the back of my head. Did I really hear that? Right? Is this really going on? I mean, because when it comes to that point, I mean, when you're hitting 100 miles an hour, 130, splitting lanes at 90 miles an hour, doing whatever you're going to do, I don't...
Allegedly.
Yeah.
On close course.
Yeah, close course only. We went out to the airport.
Undisclosed racetrack location.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't want those things in the back of your head. I want you to know that your bike was done and it was done right and it was taking time and we're not doing it for money. I'm not sitting here. I don't have a huge thing that I got to make payments on. We're doing it because we want it done right.
And we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't know much about bikes. So if you're tearing in the head, you have a camera of you wrenching on that. So when you're putting it back together, the guy gets to see every nut, every bolt gets to get put back in where it
Yeah, we
goes.
have that capability with fixed ones that are kind of like our security cameras as well, right, for the shop for when we're not there. And then we also will pause and do off of small video cameras, GoPros and things like that.
Yeah.
We'll do more in-depth because we'll have the fixed camera and then we'll come over. And when we do the come over stuff is when we do kind of our guided assemblies and instructions on it, just tidbits to show people why we do things, give you some points, some tricks, tips, right? Mm-hmm. And it's also a way for us to be able to inform the public of our knowledge, not just saying it. You can watch us work.
Yeah, like the one is basically, if you want to see it happen as it happens, is live streamed. Okay. Right, we'll live stream it. So if you want to see us actually work on the bike, that's cool. If you want to see that we're sitting around screwing around at the shop, that happens too. Right?
But you're still going to see it. I don't turn off the camera.
It's not going to get turned off. It's going to be a good time. But that's what it's about. It's about having a good time and actually enjoying what you do, so that way when you go home you can enjoy that time with the family that you actually wanted. Right? Like I remember tons of times having to go and do the grind and do whatever, and then when you get home
you're just too tired to enjoy
man, your kids, whatever, you love them, but you get there and you're like, dude, I just want 5 minutes to do what I want to do. You know,
we go home tired still. We don't feel that way though.
No, not at all.
I know that feeling, because when my son, I was installing satellite dishes when my son was probably like 3 years old. Be out in the 100-degree heat on a roof, running wire, setting up satellite. I come out, my wife's like, she's been with the kid all day. She just wants 5 minutes to herself. And I'm like, I know. I just need 5 minutes to myself. So like, take off my boots, let my feet breathe, and just kind of like unwind from the day. So I'm not grumpy when I engage. I just want to let it all out.
And that is why we allow people even just to stop by an open door policy, because we're working on something and you want to escape that for a minute, man. Come over and hang out for a couple minutes, dude. See what we're about, right? Yeah. See what we're doing. Escape that, all right? And come to a place where you're going to just be chilling in the shop. If you like that kind of atmosphere, if you don't, you just haven't experienced ours, all right? Yeah. And
I like that.
It's a nice escape, man. It's
because the elephant in the room is a lot of veterans do have PTSD. Mm-hmm. They do. There's a lot of veterans committing suicide. Mm-hmm. So
yes, and we're trying to stop that.
That open door policy where they could just come get away from whatever's ailing them and just a little piece of quiet and share, share stories with each other and like, oh yeah, I've been through that, or to know that they're not alone.
Exactly.
That's I think the key right there.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of us out there, and for some reason, a lot of us stay to ourselves, right? Kind of get reclusive in different ways, and it's done a lot for me, at least, to start to come out more and meet other vets and realize just how many of us there are. We are all over, and
San McHan has over 34,000 veterans.
Well, see, and here's the other thing. Like, I think that we both come to learn, like we say it all the time, it's even written at the shop. At the end of the day, the only one stopping you living the life you want is you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that is ultimately, it's like, the VA sucks. We get it. Yeah. I get it. It is what it is. But if you don't jump through the hoops and you don't do whatever, then you're the one that's ultimately holding yourself back. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of why the day the door's open, the door's open. If you want to walk in. Yeah, and I'll help you from there.
You got problems with VA stuff. I mean, I can't fix everything in the world, but we may know some contacts you don't have, right? And that can start to alleviate a lot of your other stresses in your life. So not just that time that you get to escape with us, but if we network and we're talking with other veterans about how they're handling situations like that, all of a sudden we're able to share those resources with others. And all of a sudden you get less tension and less problems in your life and more time to come hang out with us. Right?
Well, see, because here's another thing. Well, here's another thing. Okay, so the VA actually has a ton of really good programs. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of really good things the VA does. But the VA will not tell you about any of them unless you ask. If you don't specifically ask about X, Y, and Z, they're not going to come forth and give you the information. And I don't know if it's because they don't know, or whatever. But I mean, there is actually a ton of really cool programs. Like David Fuller put me through one. He helped me get my dog. I got a little Shih Tzu thing. He helped me get it registered as a service dog. So it helps me because
You need to give up your man card right now.
Oh, no, man. Hey, you know what? It doesn't bother me. It's cool. And the reason I need it is because I'm 70% disabled myself. And for me, the reason it went there is because I needed something that I had to be gentle around.
Okay.
Right? Like, because for me, I'm not worried about whatever. It is what it is, but I needed something to connect me to be gentle again.
Okay.
Because that little dog.
You're a pretty big, intimidating guy. Not gonna lie. I was like, when you were walking up, I'm like, I think that's him.
You recognize this from a little ways away.
But that's cool. So the VA paid for all that for your. Did they pay for the dog, or did you
no, I had already had the dog. So the way it worked is I had already had the dog, and they would have to evaluate the dog to see if the dog will or won't make the program.
Okay.
Right. I can't tell you how they're going to do that or not do that. Right. But they do have programs. It's vets to. I can't remember the name of it. Okay. The actual program. But if you're already in the VA, any of your VA counselors that you meet with, if you ask them about it, they should be able to find out about it and let you know. And
or
the cool thing is,
reach out to Sinners and Winners.
Yes, you reach out to us.
VA, right? Yeah, we got other good things going on too.
Yeah.
So,
what other connections you might have for people?
Oh man, there's all kinds.
The PSR.
Yeah.
The PSR. Yeah.
Protecting Soldiers' Rights. I mean,
a little highlight of them.
Oh yeah, they're a really cool program.
You know, I myself have gone through the veteran court program, all right, and some time ago, and those guys are involved with that, which is giving veterans a second chance, especially those that have PTSD, TBIs. Okay. If you get yourself in a little bit of trouble, whether it's a DUI or it could be anything, right? It could be up to felony, misdemeanor. You're able to go through there, and if you complete the requirements, which is about a year. You have to be clean, go to all your counseling, different things that are going on based on it's structured for you. It's totally dropped. I have no arrest record ever.
Wow.
Right. I had one bad night. I drank a little bit too much, got myself in a little trouble, and that's all gone. It's all behind me, which is really cool. They are there to be able to continue to help facilitate that transition because there's certain areas and counties this doesn't exist yet. All right. This Veterans Treatment Court is a fairly new idea, and there's also some issues in how certain law enforcement departments aren't properly trained on handling veterans. And so they're there to ensure that those people's rights are still protected. Yeah. All right.
PSR also does that, but some of the other things that PSR does is they also have a lot of different programs. Like they've partnered up with a lot of different people. We've partnered up with them. Another one they have is you can actually go out and get trained and get your certification and actually use your GI Bill to get they'll teach you how to be a bodyguard type thing, security. But it's not like just the one that you see over at wherever. No, man, they actually put you on a helicopter and you get to fire M60s and shit. Oh, I mean, it's so they train you. You'll do door breaches. I'm about to
interview him.
Doing a helicopter interview.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'll get my film crew. We'll go do a video helicopter.
Yeah, but they do all kinds of different programs. Really cool people. We actually just teamed up with them within the last week, so I don't even know all of what they do or don't know. Okay. I mean, a lot of this is actually moving really fast, really quick. I mean, we have been kind of doing our own thing for about 4 years, and then all of a sudden, it's then people actually found out what we were doing.
And they're like,
6 months goes by. I mean, like a blink, and now we're starting to have that momentum come to fruition here.
Coming through.
Yeah.
So what's it take if somebody wants to come, for a bike?
Okay.
We will need to see your DD 214.
Okay.
All right. Not worried about the social. Not worried about keeping it. I just need to see it myself.
What about honorable, dishonorable?
It doesn't matter.
I just need to see your DD 214.
For us, all that matters is that as long as you signed up and you stepped off the bus, you were willing to go. That is 99% more than what most people are willing to do. So I'm not going to hide because I don't know your past. I don't know what happened.
Right.
No. Right. And a lot of people, they don't know what they're getting into. And if all of a sudden you thought it was something and it wasn't there, I'm not going to hold that against you because at that time you thought you were making the right choice.
Yeah, the reason why I bring that up because a lot of programs only want honorable discharge.
Yeah, well, let me tell you a story. When I got back from Iraq, I had a couple of my guys end up getting booted out other than honorable. And it was because one of them had saved some pain pills, I guess, from before our deployment. They got back and they decided to party. All right, the one guy, it was his first time ever partying with the other guy, or ever in his life. The other guy had a seizure. All right, so the guy did the right thing. He called 911 on Fort Hood, saved the other guy's life. They didn't even give him the Army substance abuse program options. I mean, these guys got kicked to the curb, where I've seen people pop hot for cocaine in active duty and get demoted and stay in.
Oh, wow.
All right, so I understand, dude, just because it says other than honorable on them, if I talk to them and I get to know you, there's good people that just
Yeah, that's the other thing is like you're not just gonna apply and we're gonna get to know you.
One wrong choice isn't gonna make me not like you for the rest of your life.
No, and that's part of the whole name Sinners and Winners, man. Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, you know, and then you press on and you move forwards.
I love it. So how do people get in contact with you?
Well, you can go on our website, sinnersandwinners.com.
It's still under construction. Like I said, it's just the two of us that have been trying to do all this. So it's still, it's a work in progress.
So
but
you're
you can
saying
go
it's
under.
not beautiful?
No, it actually looks good. It looks good.
A couple of nice photos. But you can also
good dudes out there.
come by anytime, man. We are at 639 Hedberg Way in Oakdale, California, in Suite E. Or you can give us a call, 209-847-2998.
Yeah, or like I said, you can check out the YouTube. Just search Sinners and Winners on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I think it's S&W Speed Shop.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work in your workplace, it's not a bad website, right? Just search it from home.
Yeah. Sounds like an adult website.
I know. Yeah. So some workplace is blocking, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, sweet, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I look forward to working with you guys in the future and being a part of what you're doing. It's important to me. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Remember, be kind to everybody because you never know when you're going to change somebody's life. But more importantly, you never know when they're going to change yours. Have a great day, everybody.